and welcome to the Idaho State University College of Education Celebrating Excellence Watch Party. My name is John Curry. I'm an associate professor in instructional design and technology and the department chair of the Organizational Learning and Performance Department here in the College of Education. On behalf of all the faculty and staff and students here at the college, we'd like to welcome you out to this year's watch party for our Celebrating Excellence Awards. We're sorry that it's not in person, and we hope that next year it will be. But in the meantime, we appreciate you taking out your time to celebrate with us these people who have represented the college so well. We're going to begin tonight with a message by our dean, Dr. Jean McGivney-Burrell, and after which we'll see introductions and remarks by each of the award winners.
Thank you, John, and yes, a warm welcome to the 2021 College of Education Celebrating Excellence ceremony. I want to give a special welcome to someone who I believe is tuning in from the furthest distance from Pocatello, and her name is Gladys Ntuli, mother of our esteemed faculty member and department chair, Dr. Esther Ntuli. Gladys, who is viewing the ceremony from her hometown in Chipinge, Zimbabwe, where it is now 2 a.m., if you are listening, I want you to know how much we admire and respect your daughter. I know you miss her terribly, and we appreciate you sharing her with us. To everyone tuning in from near or far, thank you for being with us today to celebrate 7 most deserving faculty, staff, students, alumni, leaders, and partners. Now, typically, this ceremony would be held in person in the fall to coincide with homecoming weekend. But back in August, we decided to move this event to the spring in the hopes that we might be able to host an in-person event. Alas, COVID had other plans for us, so here we are, hosting our first ever Celebrating Excellence watch party. Before we start recognizing our awardees, I would like to take a moment to thank a few people. First and foremost, I want to recognize the incredible efforts of our systems administrator extraordinaire, Sheldon Harris, who on top of everything else he is doing, agreed to take the lead on putting together this event. From ordering equipment, to setting up a production studio, to learning new technology and software, to filming the speeches and editing the videos and more. And as usual, he did so without ado. Thank you, Sheldon, for all of your work on this project. I also want to thank John Curry for agreeing to MC this event and Laura McRae who took the lead on communications. I want to thank all of you who took the time to nominate award winners. This in and of itself is an act of kindness and an expression of gratitude, which we can always use more of. So thank you for doing that. Finally, I want to thank the members of the Celebrating Excellence Committee who had the impossible job of selecting the winners from a group of nominees who are all very deserving. After a brutal year of illness and loss, lockdowns and social distancing, I am grateful that we are starting to see signs of hope on the horizon. I'm also grateful we have so much to celebrate in the College of Education, not the least of which are tonight's award recipients. All of tonight's award recipients, in one form or another, are educators, and all of them have had to do tremendous work to adjust their practices in response to the pandemic during the past year. And they have all done so with tremendous grit and grace. To each and every one of the award recipients, thank you. Thank you for all you do to teach and mentor, lead and serve, and inspire your students or clients, your colleagues, or your community members. You are incredible ambassadors of the College of Education and Idaho State University. Thank you for being role models in your profession, and congratulations on this most well-deserved honor. I hope you all enjoy tonight's celebration, and if you are so inclined, please feel free to use the comment feature to give a shout out to tonight's award recipients. Thank you and have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Dean McGivney-Burrell, for your opening remarks. Tonight's program is being displayed on your screen, and the ceremony will proceed as follows. The Staff Excellence Award recipient, Mr. Gabriel Rodriguez, will be introduced by Dr. Mark Neal. The Outstanding Early Career Alumnus Award recipient, Mr. Garret Wood, will be introduced by Dr. Carla Judge. The Outstanding Educator Award recipient, Ms. Stephanie Moore, will be introduced by Dr. Corey Bennett. The Faculty Excellence Award recipient, Dr. Esther Ntuli, will be introduced by Dr. Emma Wood. The Distinguished Leader Award recipient, Mr. Dan Armstrong, will be introduced by Dr. Brenda Jacobson. The Bengal Partner Award recipient, Mr. Dustin Enslinger, will be introduced by Dr. Danny Moffett. And the Peter C. Kole William H. McGuffey Prize recipient, Dr. Rachel Hulse, will be introduced by Dr. Mark Neal. You can learn more about tonight's award recipients on your website at isu.edu/education.
My name is Mark Neal, and I currently serve as the Associate Dean in the College of Education. It is my great honor to present the 2021 Staff Excellence Award to Gabriel Rodriguez. Gabe joined the College of Education in 2017 as the Director of the Albion Center for Educational Innovation. The Albion Center serves as the vehicle for the delivery of professional development for teachers and others who must engage in continuing education to maintain their certification. At that time, the Albion Center had lost the confidence, credibility, and support of most, if not all, of our educational partners. The Albion Center had not generated any revenue for several years and was neglecting an important part of the college's mission, the support of teachers and other educational professionals. Largely due to Gabe's vision, dedication, and marketing skills, the Albion Center has become the most robust provider of professional development credits in the state of Idaho. In fact, in 4 short years, Gabe has moved the Albion Center from generating revenue of $0 in 2017 to hundreds of thousands of dollars this year, and we still have 3 months to go. Gabe has initiated some innovative marketing approaches, spent untold hours rebuilding relationships and regaining the confidence of our teachers and other educational partners. He has traveled the state to market and promote the services of the Albion Center, and Gabe has expanded access to our professional development opportunities to teachers in other states across the nation. We are very fortunate to have excellent support staff in the College of Education, but the contributions of Gabriel Rodriguez is unprecedented and serves as testament to his selection as a recipient of the 2021 Staff Excellence Award.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for watching this as I accept the Staff Excellence Award for the College of Education here at Idaho State University. I can't take all the credit myself. This is my 4th year at the College of Education and my 8th year here at Idaho State University. I just have so many people to thank, including the person who nominated me, Dr. Mark Neal, who has just been a great support for the Albion Center and for myself personally. Being the interim dean and then the associate dean for the Albion Center, he has helped guide myself and the Albion to success. And I'd also like to take this time to thank previous college leadership, including when I came here, Dr. Karen Wilson-Scott and Dr. Karen Appleby, who were instrumental in getting my position to be successful in getting Albion Center online. They were truly great guides in making my transition from College of Technology here to College of Education successful. I also have to thank Dottie Salmons, who stepped into that role and helped support myself and Albion during that time of transition as well. And I also want to say thank you to the late Catherine Hildebrandt, who said when she came here that she wanted to see Albion Center be a national model for professional development. And I'm happy to say that her vision has come true today. And then, of course, great thanks go to the current dean, Dr. Jean McGivney-Burrell, who has been a great support for Albion as we are expanding. And I cannot leave out my family, Corinne, my wife, who's been a tremendous support and inspiration to me. That's why we come to work, is so that we can support our family, and I am very proud of her. And when I started the College of Education, I did not have any kids, and now I have 2. Charlotte, who turns 3 in May, and Sela, who was just born last week here in March. And so I am proud to say that I am their father. Again, I thank everyone for their support here at the college and for the Albion Center that has allowed me to be successful. And I just want to say thank you, and I accept this award. And again, thank you to Dr. Mark Neal, who nominated me.
I nominated Garret Wood for the Outstanding Early Alumnus because he exemplifies everything the award stands for. Garret is a 2016 graduate of the Master of Science in Athletic Training, as well as a 2014 graduate of the Undergraduate Sports Science program in the Department of Sports Science Physical Education within the College of Education. Garret is now a certified athletic trainer working in the Portneuf Sports Medicine program and provides athletic training services to Marsh Valley High School. While providing health care to the students and athletes at Marsh Valley, he has served as a clinical preceptor and adjunct faculty for the ISU Master of Science in Athletic Training program since 2017. As a clinical preceptor, Garret has garnered high evaluation marks from students working with him at the high school setting. He provides knowledge, guidance, and skill development for students during clinical rotations. As an adjunct professor, he teaches the Undergraduate Prevention and Care of Athletic Injuries course, along with our graduate level Clinical Experience 2 class, in which he teaches hands-on skills and tricks of the trade secrets related to clinical education. Garret also teaches health professions at Grace Lutheran High School. Not only has Garret provided health care and student education, he has also been published in 2015 in the Journal of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance for his management of inversion ankle sprains in the athletic population. Garret has also presented to peers at the state, district, and national level regarding exercise recovery time and forced vital capacity in relation to body position, hamstring injury rehabilitation, and therapeutic cupping, offering both lecture sections and lab sessions. He is an advocate for athletes suffering from concussions and other serious injuries, and is a person that young people can trust. Garret Wood reflects what an outstanding early alumnus should be, as well as an outstanding representative of the ISU College of Education and the values it represents.
I would like to thank Dr. Judge for nominating me for this award. She is a blessing to the ISU community and does an excellent job as the clinical education coordinator. I've only been able to achieve early success in my career because of all the individuals at ISU who poured their time and resources into mentoring me. I would like to thank Bobby Artiaga and Melissa Milliken with ISU Housing, who taught me how to lead and foster a community out of a group of individuals. I would like to thank ISU's former track coach, Dave Nielsen, who taught me hard work and how to overcome difficult obstacles. Lastly, I would like to thank some of my former instructors, Colby Cordingley, Dr. Fari, and Dr. Moffitt. Their style of teaching motivates students to engage the classes content willingly, hold students to high standards, and invest interests in the students' long-term success, both academically and with the students' personal life ambitions. I strive to emulate this teaching style in all the opportunities that I'm given to serve a group of students as their instructor.
Mrs. Stephanie Moore exemplifies the profession in many ways. She has made substantial contributions to the field, and this is both locally, nationally, as well as internationally. She contributes as a key partner in an ongoing and emerging field of research relating to mathematics education, and she continues to provide high-quality learning experiences for her students, all the while continuing to push her own professional growth and that of her colleagues. Stephanie is still relatively early in her career, but her potential has been clear to me since the first day I met her as an undergraduate student. 4 years after that time, getting her undergraduate degree, she began her graduate work here at ISU. And it was during this time, Stephanie, along with some of her closest colleagues and fellow graduate students, began working with me on a research project on supporting students' reasoning in middle-level mathematics. Stephanie was always eager to learn more. She was the first to try things out. She pushed others to take those risks, even the risks that most teachers with less experience wouldn't do. And because of her efforts in this work, she has presented locally to fellow teachers, as well as nationally and even internationally with the National Councils of Teachers of Mathematics, which is the leading mathematics teacher organization. Stephanie's contributions to teaching and learning locally, nationally, and internationally, as well as her continued and deliberate actions to advance the profession, illustrates her excellence as an outstanding professional educator. Rarely do we find professional educators of this quality so early in their career who contribute to the profession beyond their own classroom. And it's for these reasons I believe she is the ideal educator for the Outstanding Educator Award.
I have had months to wrap my head around this nomination, and I'm still in shock to be receiving this award, especially this early in my career. I'm only in my 6th year of teaching, and I often feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. I tell people all the time, usually my students, that I'm kind of a big deal, but it's a joke. I don't think of myself as an outstanding educator. I don't think of myself or what I do as anything special. I just do what any educator would do to help my students realize that they can do math and that it can be fun. I try to guide them to gain a deep understanding of the math and to show them how to use their resources to become lifelong learners. I think back to all the outstanding educators I've been surrounded by in my life, from my elementary, middle, and high school teachers to the professors and teachers in training I was surrounded by while earning my undergraduate degree at Idaho State University. The team of teachers I was fortunate enough to work with during my student teaching and my first few years as a teacher guided me and showed me what it means to be a great teacher. The educators I was able to collaborate with during my graduate level work at ISU pushed me to do things I never would have thought possible and to accomplish things I never would have done without them. From making research come to life in my own classroom to presenting that research at the local, national, and international levels. We had so much fun together, and we were able to use our research to not only help the kids in our own classrooms reason about mathematics, but share that research with educators to use in classrooms across the globe. We can't be an outstanding educator without a lot of support from your friends and family, and I have some of the best surrounding me. I'm very fortunate to have parents and siblings that taught me that nothing can replace a good work ethic, that each person in the room matters and is important, and to be a team player, to do what works for the team as a whole. They molded me into the person I am today, and for that I am so appreciative. I am lucky enough to have siblings who are also some of my best friends, who drop everything to support one another, and to have friends who are always by my side when I need them. My biggest support comes from my wonderful husband. Jake puts up with a lot from me. He encourages me, he never gives up on me, and never lets me give up on myself. He and my awesome kids not only pick up my slack when I get too busy at school, but they pick me up each time I want to quit. They remind me that under all the frustrations, paperwork, and red tape are students who need me to love them and show them the potential they are unable to see in themselves. I can never thank Jake, Kaylee, and Emmett enough for what they do for me on a daily basis. Last, I need to give a shout out to every one of the students I've taught over the last 6 years. You've challenged me, you've made me laugh, cry, scream, and celebrate. You make every minute of the hard work worth it. Each one of you will always be one of my kids. I love you all, and I'm so proud to say you are kind of a big deal.
Dr. Ntuli has served tirelessly as the department chair during a time of increased strain due to accreditation requirements, state review processes, and an untimely global pandemic. Under Dr. Ntuli's leadership, teacher education has seen the expansion of online course offerings, diligent preparation for an upcoming accreditation visit, and increased flexibility in faculty growth opportunities. The grace and fairness which she brings to her leadership role is a reflection of her core values. She seeks to use individual strengths toward the growth of the department and profession. It is with great joy that I present Dr. Esther Ntuli the Faculty Excellence Award for the College of Education.
I would like to acknowledge the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Jean McGuffey, Associate Dean, Dr. McNeil, Assistant Dean, Dr. Emma Woods, and all College of Education faculty and staff. Allow me to take this opportunity to acknowledge my late father, Ntuli, who inspired me to be a teacher and to pursue excellence. With the help of my mother, Gladys Ntuli, I was able to achieve that dream. She stood by me and provided emotional support and inspiration after my father passed away. I would like to acknowledge my American mother, Patricia Springer, who was an elementary teacher for 25 years in Hopedale, Illinois. She taught me everything I needed to know about the American culture and used their teaching experiences to encourage me when I was about to give up. I rarely receive awards, let alone an award for teaching excellence. This award came in my career when I was so engrossed in teacher education, accreditation, and pursuing teaching excellence. With all the work that I am doing, I learned that you need others to be excellent or successful. You need the following 4 groups of people or faculty: collaborators, refiners, those who refine your ideas or what you think you know, coaches, mentors. In my department, I found the 4 groups of faculty who helped me to be successful. Therefore, I accept this award, not for me alone, but on behalf of the Teaching and Educational Studies Department. I would like to share a few things I learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, it became apparent that teaching online is no longer an option, but a solution to the challenges posed by the pandemic. Online and distance instruction, however, requires a specialized skill set that all teachers must have, starting from early childhood education to higher education. In my work with teacher candidates, I will focus more on providing the required skill set. Relationships with parents and families are important more than before. As students learn remotely, parents and families should be engaged in such a way that they understand how teachers need curriculum to be scaffolded and supported at home. I wondered how much was completed by teachers who did not have a bi-directional relationship with parents or families. In teacher education programs, we should work hard to teach candidates how to strengthen teacher-families partnerships that results in increased student achievement. Relationships with students should be stronger, especially during the pandemic, where children and families alike have reported mental health challenges. What does strong relationships with students entail? What can the bond inspire student learning and positive educational outcomes? What approaches should be used in order to engage online students in a meaningful way that facilitates learning and necessitates optimal mental health? Before the pandemic, mental health issues in schools existed, but not discussed much with openness, because the subject carries stigma. Because of the pandemic, the world went through and is still going through a turbulent, traumatic, and adverse childhood experiences. Collectively, it is easier to talk about social emotional issues, isolation, and the emotions this has provoked, suicide thoughts, depression, and how each person copes with the situation differently. This openness should remain after the pandemic, regardless of what education looks like in the future. Every new educational model or a policy should incorporate the mental health not only of students, but also that of professors and the non-academic and support staff, developing strategies that benefit their psychological well-being. In conclusion, Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Let us use the education to change the stigma around mental health. Ask yourself, if you are a teacher, how are you using education to change the world? Thank you.
Imagine you are a sophomore in college sitting in a course you had absolutely no interest in. You can't switch for multiple reasons, so you talk with the instructor and make the best of the experience. 2 semesters later, that student returns with the realization he wanted to be a teacher. This is exactly what happened to our next award recipient. Dan Armstrong is a solutions consultant with Adobe, but that is not where his journey began. After graduating ISU, Dan went on to be a business education teacher in 3 high schools over the course of 12 years. Dan was recruited to his last school and was offered the chance of a lifetime to design and create a state-of-the-art program from the ground up, the envy of all Idaho. During this time, Dan was the driving force behind Adobe Create Idaho, where he garnered significant support from the State Department of Education and Adobe to offer teachers the opportunity to train on products for the classroom and for students. Dan is a passionate supporter of teachers and students in Idaho. He often circles back and asks himself, are the students in technology courses applying technology skills for the jobs of tomorrow? When he can answer yes, he knows that those skills can enhance and propel students to places they never even dreamed. As Dan transitioned to Adobe, he never forgot his mission, passion, and purpose. At every opportunity, Dan supports Idaho teachers, especially his tribe of business education teachers, and the students of the College of Education. Dan has the ability to translate vision into reality and understands that leadership is action, not position. Idaho teachers have Dan on speed dial, and Dan models best practices of a leader as he tirelessly works to create more leaders. Please welcome my former student, colleague, collaborator, and friend, Mr. Dan Armstrong, the 2020 Distinguished Leader Award recipient.
I'd like to start today by saying thank you to Idaho State University and the College of Education for helping me become who I am today, and for the guidance and leadership they've given me over all the years that I've been in school and in my profession. This is really a big thing for me. You know, I started when I was just a freshman out of high school, and I was rollerblading around the campus, not worrying about my classes, and I ended my first year at Idaho State University by being dismissed from the university for my academics because I didn't take care of my grades and I didn't do my part, and I needed to refocus. I spent 2 years on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints where I learned a lot of things about me, and I came back to the College of Education with a renewed focus and vision for the opportunities that would lie ahead. And I ended up landing in a intermediate keyboarding class because there weren't very many courses left available at the time I was registering. And I was told very promptly that this class was meant for people who were going to become teachers of business education, and that I probably needed a different class. And I just decided to go with it and start writing lesson plans and things. And after a couple of years, I kind of figured out that this was where I wanted to be. And my brother gave me some good advice, and he said, find the people that you want to be like and surround yourself with them, and you'll become like them. And so I surrounded myself with the best that I could find in education through opportunities like Business Professionals America, where the College of Education helped me have the opportunity to be their national president for a year and help guide things for that student organization. So throughout this time in the College of Ed, I've learned a lot of things that have helped to accelerate and improve things for education. We've created a Create Idaho program where students are given the Creative Cloud throughout the state. And we also set up a Creative Cloud for Educators course that saw College of Ed students have the opportunity to learn the Creative Cloud in their classes. And so through some of those efforts and the things that I did here at the College of Ed, that prepared me for my role today that I do at Adobe as a solutions consultant, where I take care of the technology for K-12 education for the United States and Canada. And my job is to look at the challenges and the struggles and put all the pieces together. So during this time, we've been working on setting up schools with electronic signatures so they can continue to operate their schools from home or wherever they may be. And it's this time that I spent in the College of Ed learning to overcome these challenges and problems that have really set things up for that time. So I just want to say thank you again to the College of Ed and for the opportunity and the time that I got to spend there and the shaping that it has been for my future. And I look forward to the new opportunities that we'll pursue down the road as we continue to work together. So thank you so very much.
It is my pleasure to present the Bengal Partner Award to the Idaho State University Athletic Training staff. Athletic training students have clinical education as a large part of their training. Each semester, they spend an average of 20 hours each week with their preceptor, learning knowledge, skills, and abilities that will make them a better athletic trainer. Though we have many preceptors for our program, none have been more instrumental with our students than the ISU athletic training staff. In addition to being in the athletic training facility, several have been adjunct instructors, advisory board members, and GFRs for our students. These individuals have given back to our program in exchange for a thank you and a few continuing education credits. It's beyond having a student help in the athletic training facility. It is mentoring and helping the program to move forward. This award is not only for the current athletic training staff, including Brandon, Liz, Dustin, Chase, Santi, and Ross, but for the ones who came before them, Jody, Rachel, Daryl, Danny, and Michaela. We are so grateful for your dedication to the education of future athletic trainers and healthcare professionals.
First, I would like to thank the College of Education for the Bingo Partner Award, and I would also like to thank Danny Moffat for the nomination for this award. It is an honor to accept this award, not only for myself, but on behalf of our entire sports medicine staff at ISU. Brandon Payne, Liz Reinstein, Chase Anderson, Santi Segura Barone, and Ross are all also preceptors in our Masters of Science and Athletic Training program and deserving of this honor. We feel this is important to provide the experiences and education in helping and leading our future certified athletic trainers. We are all tremendously honored to be nominated and accept this award. Thank you, and go Bengals.
The Peter C. Kole William H. McGuffey Prize for Excellence in Educational Research is the most prestigious award that is bestowed by the College of Education to a graduate student who has produced the most outstanding doctoral dissertation or master's thesis. It is because of Peter and Nancy Kole's generosity and commitment to Idaho State University that we are able to award the Kole McGuffey Prize. Beyond this recognition, the Kole McGuffey Prize recipient receives a medallion and a $10,000 cash prize. I am pleased to introduce you to this year's recipient of the Kole McGuffey Prize, Dr. Rachel Hulse. Rachel completed her doctorate in education in educational leadership with a concentration in higher education administration and is currently the program director and an assistant professor in the Medical Laboratory Sciences program here at Idaho State University. With a background in medical laboratory science and higher education administration, Dr. Hulse's dissertation focused on an area that combined these two diverse areas of study to make a unique and meaningful contribution to the field. Dr. Hulse's dissertation assessed clinical factors that influence first-year ISU students' decision to continue their educational pursuit. Rachel's study consisted of an interdisciplinary approach that looked at clinical biological markers and the mental health of ISU freshmen to determine if health played a larger role in attrition choices. Her results established a strong biological evidence that Idaho higher education freshmen' physical and mental health declined throughout the semester, and that this decline correlated with a decrease in academic success. Dr. Hulse expects that this information can be used to identify new and unique ways to monitor and shape future retention strategies for all higher education students. Dr. Hulse's dissertation opened up an entirely new area of study and a brand new way to support first-year students' college retention. As a result of her groundbreaking research and contributions to college student retention, I'm proud to introduce Dr. Rachel Hulse as this year's recipient of the Kole McGuffey Prize.
Hello, my name is Rachel Hulse, and I'm so honored to be able to speak with you today. I first want to express my deepest appreciation to Peter and Nancy Kole and their family for this tremendous opportunity and for their incredible generosity in supporting research excellence in the College of Education here at ISU. I'm deeply honored and grateful to be a Kole McGuffey Award recipient. I'm also grateful to the College of Education and the program and department faculty who consistently work non-traditional hours to provide education and degrees designed for the working professional in mind. Without this flexibility, I would not have been able to obtain my doctoral degree. Thank you to my committee chair, Dr. Paul Watkins, and my other committee members, Dr. Rick Wagner, Dr. Kathy Spiegel, and Dr. Tracy Farnsworth for their tremendous mentoring and support, and for sharing with me a portion of their expertise and experience. I work here at ISU as the Program Director for Medical Laboratory Science. To some, this might seem a strange trajectory to cross disciplines from health science to obtain a doctoral degree in education. However, it was one of the best decisions for my career that I could have made. I found myself equally passionate about both areas of instruction, and when it came time to work on my doctoral project, I knew that I wanted to find a way to combine my interests. And what I learned through my studies, and I developed a great interest in attrition, or the dropout rate associated in higher education. And what I found is this is a pervasive problem nationally, and the freshman population is predominantly at risk, accounting for the majority of higher education attrition. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons that contribute to this, including unhealthy patterns of self-care, like lack of sleep, poor diet, lack of exercise, increased substance abuse, increased stress, and this combined with financial concerns or inadequate academic preparedness or even familial separation anxiety. This is sort of a recipe for depression and attrition among college students, particularly freshmen. The state of Idaho is particularly affected with concerning higher education go-on and college graduations rates that are consistently near the bottom of the nation. So due to my health science background, I began to think and study about how these poor health indicators are contributing to attrition. And what I was shocked to find was there was virtually no physiological or biological data in connection with decades of retention studies. And from that perspective, my dissertation project was born. The title of my dissertation is Assessing Clinical Factor Contributions to Idaho's Higher Education Crisis. And I looked at 3 research questions. First, I wanted to assess if biological markers of health, or laboratory assays, significantly changed in Idaho freshmen during their first semester of higher education. So to do this, I followed 50 Idaho resident freshmen their first time at ISU, and followed them throughout their first semester. And I took a number of blood tests to see if there were significant changes across the course of the study. I monitored their complete blood count, their comprehensive metabolic profiles, and lipid or cardiac risk panels. And these are the primary blood test indicators of basic health and organ function. I also monitored their C-reactive protein, thyroid-stimulating hormone, and cortisol levels, which are indicators of conditions including systemic inflammation, chronic stress, and even depression. And as you might expect, several of these lab tests showed significant changes. For example, the data suggested significant increases in inflammation, cholesterol, and blood sugar, and also other tests that were consistent with what we would expect to see in alcohol abuse. All of the significant lab changes indicated a decline in student health over the course of their first semester. Equally as remarkable is the degree and speed in which these outcomes became evident in what we would generally otherwise consider to be a healthier, younger, low-risk population. And as you know, health problems have the potential to intercalate and interfere with every aspect of life. Therefore, these health trends are undoubtedly playing a pivotal role in the academic success of our freshmen. But what's really neat about this information is that now we have actual concrete physiological data of declining health, and we can potentially create resources or policy or even scaffolding that allows for early prevention strategies in combination with existing student health services that we already have. The second research problem that I examined, I wanted to determine if there was quantitative measures of stress and depression that were increasing over the course of the study. And if so, were they correlating to the changes in the clinical laboratory testing that we saw? So in addition to the laboratory testing, we also had students fill out a number of survey questions. And in this, it included 2 standardized surveys that we call the College Survey Inventory, or the CSI, and the Patient Healthcare Questionnaire 9, or PHQ-9. The PHQ-9 survey is a self-administered diagnostic tool for monitoring symptoms of depression. So the higher the scores on the PHQ-9, it indicates higher severity of depression symptoms. And what I found with the PHQ-9 scores is that they increased significantly, with 68% of participants reporting more severe symptoms of depression at the end of their first semester at ISU. Remarkably, students with lower academic performance, so those with under a 2.5 GPA, demonstrated 200% more severe symptoms of depression than their higher performing counterparts. Also, these PHQ-9 scores correlated significantly with inflammation biomarkers, indicating that there's a biological correlation with increased symptoms of depression. The third and final research question that I wanted to bring this back to attrition. I wanted to determine the extent that my clinical blood work and survey assessment tools from the second research question correlated with the metrics of freshman academic success at ISU. So I looked at fall semester GPA and fall to spring retention. And I also wanted to say, do these factors contribute and could they be predictors of academic success or risk? And what I found that fall semester GPA strongly correlated with retention choices. So in other words, the lower the GPA, the more likely they were to drop out. That makes sense. Fall GPA also correlated with changes in potassium, bilirubin, and sodium, indicating some level or a trend towards kidney function impairment. Fascinatingly, sustained stress studies have also been linked with kidney impairment with these exact same biological outcomes. So this suggests that kidney impairment could be a result of freshmen who are suffering from prolonged stress over the course of their first semester. These outcomes may be contributing to reduced physiological health and consequently hindering academic success. Also, as I mentioned previously, there was a number of tests that were identified as having significant changes between sessions that may have connections with alcohol consumption. These tests include total protein, albumin, alkaline phosphatase, and bilirubin. In combination, they're all changing in a direction that would indicate some level or trend towards liver dysfunction. Occasional and regular drinking was reported to increase over the course of the study, with occasional drinking occurring more frequently among student participants who had under a 2.5 GPA and those who departed the university early. The data indicates adverse liver outcomes over the course of the semester that correlated with both decreased retention and decreased academic success. Sleep behavior was a third health indicator that was strongly correlated with lower fall GPA and retention choices. Over 50% of the respondents reported they had moderate to severe sleeping problems. Increased serum glucose, coronary risk, and bilirubin were all linked with lack of sleep. And all these tests significantly correlate with poor sleep behavior in the study. This provides compelling evidence that sleep deprivation could be a large contributor to both health and academic success of freshmen. So to my knowledge, this was the first study of its kind to integrate medical laboratory science with psychological screening instruments, as well as institutional survey data into a single retention study. And what I hope I was able to accomplish was the identification of novel contributors to attrition choices, allowing for improved holistic approaches for institutional retention strategies. While this specific dissertation focuses on Idaho resident freshman attrition, there's nothing proprietary about this study's methodology or implications. This research does, however, provide a framework for additional investigation that can be replicated and expanded upon in higher education institutions across the country. It also challenges the narrative of traditional institutional retention strategies that are often siloed in nature, stimulating, hopefully, interdisciplinary approaches. So thank you for letting me share some of my research with you. I hope it's been informative and engaging. I am so happy to talk with any of you more at length if you want to reach out to me. If I could just leave you with one take-home lesson that this whole experience has taught me. The author Seth Godin once said, "You have brilliance in you. Your contribution is valuable, and the art you create is precious. Only you can do it, and you must." I have learned that each of us come to the table with such a unique skill set, a unique perspective and life expertise, and this is so invaluable if leveraged. It's my hope that my research will stimulate novel methods of contribution born of that distinction, and that we can work together to make new and positive differences in whatever situation we find ourselves in. Thank you again to the Kole family and to the ISU College of Education. I hope my future contributions will live up to this great honor.
We want to thank everybody for being here with us today. The College of Education, we're dedicated to doing our best job to help education in this area of Idaho and really everywhere that we touch. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your support of our faculty, our staff, and especially our students. We thank you for your time, and again, we hope to see you face to face next year. Best.